Hey guys, it's churches, graveyards and graves, and today I'm at St Botolphs. Never heard of a St Botolph. Most churches are called All Saints or St John the Baptist, but this one isn't one of them. This one is called St Botolphs, and it's a place called Newbold on Avon. And I've brought you here because I just want to show you this fabulous porchway, this amazing entrance, and a couple of these really old graves. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that this porchway is made of sandstone, and a lot of these graves are too. And sadly, there's a little bit of a point about sandstone, is that it erodes quite badly. But I'm going to show you, because there's a couple of interesting things. I'm just going to show you these old graves to start with. Here we go. So I'm guessing that these are some of the oldest graves at St Botolphs. They're probably 18th century, early 18th century, and you can just make out these fabulous soul effigies here. I just want to show you that, but sadly, because it is sandstone, it's all been worn away. But you can still see that these graves are some of the oldest, just due to the thickness of them. You can just make out these, although they're covered in moss, these soul effigies on the top. This is actually one here. It's like the head, much more crudely carved than the later ones. And you can also see, you can just about make out the writing here. And it says, "Here lieth the body of Mary," but you can't really see a date. And you can just see by the way that they've written this word in how old these graves are, and this tomb over here as well. But what I want to really show you is this fantastic porchway, and it's in great light today, and this fantastic door as well. So I'm just going to back up and show you this fantastic porch. And as you can see, it's an arch. All porchways are always arches. You never ever get them flat. And there is a reason for that. I don't know whether you saw one of my earlier videos where I talked about the fact that they were quite superstitious, and they thought that wayward ghosts could sometimes sit on flat lintels on the tops of the doorways. So they were always created in this circular manner. And I'm just going to go in for a minute into this porchway, because this door is fantastic. Now, this door is from around 1455. I just want you to have a real good look at this. So they were always made of like really thick wood with these amazing rivets in. To think that this door has been here for hundreds of years. And what was so fantastic is this one has 3 scrolls over the top. Now, they're quite worn. In fact, one side of the scroll is nearly gone on some of them, because obviously it's been here for hundreds of years. But these are actually the names of the original church wardens from around 1455. Now, I would have guessed that in time, obviously, this latch is a little bit later, and the lock and that, but even so, the latch itself is probably 19th century. But to see this stunning door, and look at the age, you can just see the age of these rivets here. Absolutely amazing. And so that is the doorway, and so old, and you don't get many that have survived for this long with these original names on. 15th century, that door, absolutely stunning. Now we're going to back up a little bit, and I just want to show you this. Now, as you can see, these are like niches here, and again, you can probably guess that they would have had some kind of statue in them, whether that be bronze or something similar, but they've all gone. And what they think from the history is that the Puritans took these statues out. Now, the Puritans were like very simple things. They didn't like anything that was associated with idolatry. So we're not sure exactly what statues they might have been. They might have been related to the papacy. Maybe they were saints of some sort, and they would have considered them idolatry. So they got rid of the statues, which is a real pity, although they probably would have been melted down in the war anyway. Now I just want to go close up here to show you these. You can just about make out these sort of corbels here, and even though it's sandstone and it's well worn, you can see these fabulous features here. All of them would have been 15th century. And look at this one here. It looks like a king, and you can just see his beard, and this looks like another kind of king, and these fantastic side arches here. Really, really fantastic. So this is probably the oldest part. Well, this would be the oldest part of the church. Now I'm going to this side. Now you would have also had corbels on this side of the church, but they're nearly completely worn away. But you can still make out the carvings on the top of these niches in the statues. And I know not everyone likes this, but I also like some of the graffiti that you find on these old churches. This one says IS 1837, so over 100 years ago someone got bored and carved their name into it. And sometimes you find even older graffiti than that. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that porchway at St Botolphs. It's very rare that you get a door of that age with those wonderful scrolls with the churchwarden's name on it, real piece of history. And when the Puritans came, they would have got rid of these statues out of these like niches. See there, the statue would have been here, and they'd have got rid of them because any kind of idolatry was considered. No, they didn't like it. And guess what? They even got rid of Christmas. Yes, they did. The Puritans got rid of Christmas. They didn't like the idea of all that celebrating. They didn't like a lot, really. They liked everything to be very so. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. So from Newbold on Avon, see you soon.